Sports on Tap Detroit, brought to you by the Realtors of the Joe Wright Group, Jason Stiltner of Flagstar Bank, Baldman Entertainment.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
We are tonight's entertainment.
We're here to fuck shit up.
Sports the way it should be. Nothing sugar-coated, we're loaded with all the information you wanted. From legends to prospects, nothing's off limits. Chris and Joe be taking on all topics with no stopping. They keep it rolling and going and ball hopping at a rate that's hard stopping with news that's jaw dropping. They're getting it in. Sports Center competition, man, they in it to win. This ain't a fluke, from Carolina to Duke, from MSU to Michigan. You'll know if you listening, if you ain't, you missing it. All the excitement, they shock like a thundercloud and ride with lightning. Get it together, you know ain't nobody better. Bring heat than cold weather. You better put on a sweater, you better just let it go and all come and attack. Sit back, relax, let's tell them it's on tap.
We'll do it live. Fuck it.
Don't worry, nobody's listening anyway.
Nice. Welcome to episode.
That new one?
Yeah, that's a new one.
Yeah.
I like
Nice.
that. Welcome to episode 127 of Sports on Tap Detroit. I'm Chris Scott, alongside Frank Giagata and Joel Waddell. Joel, how we doing?
We're good. Hey, Joel. Good. Nice to see you guys.
Frank?
Hey, I'm excellent.
Yeah.
Franklin?
I got power back in my house, so I'm
Your power
fucking
came
great.
back on, so that's a good thing.
You have the power.
I was able to escape.
Fight the power.
Fight the power. As soon as I saw that, I'm like,
Yes, you
I mean,
do.
that's true, Joel.
It's pronounced Joel.
Joel?
Yeah.
All right, I'll go with Joel. All right, that's fine. Is that like the French pronunciation of it?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go with that.
Joel Dirte.
Joel, stop churching it up, Dirt.
Stop churching it up, Dirt.
Anyways, let's just get into it. I want to start off with Michigan first, if we can. And the gift that keeps on giving in James Franklin. My favorite head coach
Yeah.
in all of football.
He's a real winner.
Like, I don't know how, as a university, you can look at James Franklin and still keep him as your head coach, honestly.
And still write him that check
And
every
still
month.
write him. I mean, having seen what Texas A&M just did with Jimbo Fisher, who basically could just never coach again, and he's fine.
They're paying him like $80 million
To not
to go elsewhere.
It's the absurdity of that is
Here's
like
here's
holy
$80
shit.
million. Just don't coach our team
Right.
anymore.
Like, I thought it was bad when Vegas had fucking John Gruden and now McDaniels
Yeah.
combined for about $80 million, but Jimbo on his own for $80 million. Like,
Yeah,
that's a situation I'd make you suffer through.
Yeah, it's like $80 million, and they're like, we're going to pay you this much money to just never come here again.
And not that A&M's like a small school or something, but it's not one of the major schools either.
No.
Like, I don't think they have $80 million to just pay a coach to not be there.
See, and that's like any of these. I feel like the majority of these Power 5 schools, if they say we don't have the money, again, like we were talking about before
Like
the
with
show,
baseball.
with baseball owners, bullshit. They absolutely have the money. Like you see it constantly throughout, especially college football, or these athletic departments, when they just randomly come up with millions of dollars to build a new weight room or new locker rooms or expand the stadium. Or pay coaches $80 million to not fucking coach them. So anyone that says, "Oh, we can't do this. We gotta," like the University of Arizona is talking about having to like cancel some sports because they don't have the money. Really? Are you serious? You
They don't have the money in the imaginary budget they have.
Exactly. Like, come on. Like,
Just move the numbers around.
like I said, just the absurdity of it. It's
Find a better accountant.
yeah, exactly. Find a better accountant. I mean, literally, to pay a coach $80 million to not coach you, not coach your football team, like, what are we doing here? I get that. If you think about it, that might be the best job in sports is to become a college football coach.
Actually, the best job is to become an ex-college football
Or
coach.
that's what I mean, like an
Because-
ex-college football coach.
Because you know, as long as you get the job,
yeah,
you do a bad job, you get fired, you get paid to stay home.
you get paid to do
Like they
nothing.
literally pay you to not do your job anymore.
Ridiculous.
Because you did such a bad job. We're gonna pay you to never come here again. We don't want to hear from you. We don't want to see from you. We will pay you $80 million. Just go elsewhere. Go somewhere else.
Dude, I wish somebody
Not
would do
here.
that to me.
I,
Like, what kind of fucking firing thing
right?
do I need to get into?
I ask every day what it takes me to get fired. They still haven't told me.
Now, I'm looking up James Franklin's
Yeah.
contract buyout.
I heard you go, oh shit. What was that about?
What his contract buyout is.
Oh.
And it's not too far off Jimbo's. It's $64.47 million.
Oh, man. Wow. How long's he got left on his deal?
He just signed a new one in 2021. And
5
I don't know for how long, but his the new deal he signed was in 2021.
Thanks a lot, Bin Laden.
So yeah, that's nice. That's a good one, Joel.
So bad.
Joel, that was a good one. Oh, sorry, Joel. My bad. But yeah, that's a nice chunk of change to buy that clown out. So I don't see that happening anytime soon.
No.
So again, you're gonna keep a coach who will continue.
It's a 10-year deal.
Oh Jesus, a 10-year deal.
He's got 10 more left? Oh, wow.
It doesn't expire until 2031.
Oh, my God.
That's
If I was a
Buckle up, folks. Chris is going to be bitching about this guy for a good long time.
honestly, I can't. You can't even bitch about it. I love it. 'Cause, how much of a failure he
I mean,
is.
he's the gift that keeps giving if you're a fan of another Big Ten school.
That's true.
Like, I love it. Like I'm fine. You want to stay at Penn State and have Ohio State and Michigan kick the shit out of you every year? Fine.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
Keep them at Penn State. Penn State can still be number 3 or 4 in the Big Ten. And
Yeah,
everybody's happy.
Not after next year, they won't be.
Oh yeah. With that coming up with USC and UCLA and those.
Penn State was number 3 on the list.
I don't think they're gonna be
That's
number
true.
3 no more.
Okay, so you'd be like 6 or 7.
6 or 7 on the list. Yeah.
Like you might randomly make it to a Rose Bowl or something like that, and I'm sure Penn State fans are totally cool with that.
Well, I don't know. The Rose Bowl is going to be a playoff game now.
When it's not a playoff game, it's again. Penn
You
State fans,
might make it to a bowl game.
maybe.
If they're lucky.
You make it to one of the lower bowl games, like the.
But I like in watching that game, I'm just going, what the fuck is he doing?
Make it to the Summer's Eve douche bowl.
I didn't. I couldn't understand like a lot of the shit he did during that game. I'm like, what are you doing?
Well, the funny thing is, he couldn't even explain it after the game.
Right.
He got into an argument with a reporter
I heard that.
because he's
that.
like, I explained it to you, and he goes, I don't think you did.
No, I literally, he's like, I don't think you
And
did.
he didn't say anything remotely close to an answer.
He said a
to
lot
his
of stuff
question.
without saying anything. And
He
he's
said
kinda
he said a
no.
bunch of stuff, but he never once answered the questions.
He did not.
And he goes, I feel like I've answered. Just because you don't agree with me doesn't mean I didn't answer the question. He goes, I don't feel you did.
Because he didn't.
Because you didn't answer.
He said a whole bunch of nothing, and I was watching the game with one of my buddies, and we were just kind of looking at each other, going, again, what the hell is this guy doing? Like, I didn't understand a lot of the shit that went on during that game with his coaching. So, and then of course, they ended up firing the OC, which somebody's got to take the fall for it. I mean, it's not going to be him with that buyout.
No.
Penn State's offense looked like dog shit, and credit to Michigan's defense, they played well. But
Credit to Michigan's offense.
which, yeah, for real.
And Sharon, truly.
Not even their offense, just specifically their run game.
Well, and that's the whole key is, right? We talked about it. And J.J. McCarthy had been playing really well. I mean, he was literally in talks. I don't think he should have been, but he was in talks for Heisman Trophy if he kept playing like that and they kept winning. I think that was a stretch. But he threw the ball 8 times. 8 times.
They just ran the ball down their throat.
Penn State's defense was ranked number 2 against the rush going into that game. And Michigan went, bet.
Literally, bet. Yes.
You're number 2, huh?
Bet. I mean,
And they just ran it down their throat, and it was like, holy shit!
Like, he didn't
they didn't even try to throw the ball in the second half. They were just
didn't.
like, we're just gonna keep running the ball. Hey guys, steal this sign. We're running the football, and they still couldn't
just did.
stop it.
And that's the thing. Like, well, we always talk about teams that they'll do something and it's working, and then they go away from it. Mm-hmm. I'm glad Michigan stuck with it. Like, well, if you're not going to be able to stop it, keep doing. We're just going to keep doing it, and obviously it worked.
Like it was almost comical at a certain point. It was like they were going, just keep running it, run
it again.
And they're
Stay out there.
They're not
Do
even,
it again.
They're not even covering their mouths to like keep them from
No.
knowing, and they're just like, no, run the football.
They have that whole fucking play sheet with all the plays on it, and it just says run.
They just hold up a sign that goes,
Run
run
it.
it again. After a while, they just become Herb Brooks. Again.
But yeah, it was honestly fascinating watching that. And we're kind of sitting there just going, oh, they're going to run it again. They're going to run it again. There's no need for them to throw it. None. Just keep doing what you're doing.
No, I mean, they just kind of sat on that lead. They didn't really try to get a bigger lead. They just knew if they kept running the football, time was eventually going to run out on them. And to me, it was smart.
Yep.
I mean, you got the win. You got the win and you got the win against a team in a way that you didn't think they were going to, because they were ranked very high. I think they were ranked number 2 against the run. Mm-hmm. And you're thinking to yourself, okay, J.J. McCarthy's going to have to come up big again. He threw 8 fucking passes for like 60 yards.
Yeah, there was essentially no passing game in that game.
None. And they just went, yeah, okay, number 2 against the run.
And
not anymore.
People say like, oh, that's looking at the final score is like, oh, that's not an impressive win. I disagree. I think it's an incredibly impressive win, especially the way you did it.
When you have a first-time head coach,
That's what's more impressive to me is now. Granted, I think too much being made of Harbaugh not being on the sideline.
I would agree with that. Yes.
I mean, I believe if you have good enough assistant coaches.
Yep.
You're the head coach during the week. You don't need to be on the sideline, especially when you're a head coach who doesn't call plays. Like you're not.
You're like a game manager. That's
right.
That's what
like
you
the
are.
only time that would come into account and into play for me would not having Jim on the sideline is like that crucial 4th and 2, 4th and 1, where you're in questionable territory. Like where should I go for it? Should I not? And as a Michigan fan, fucking this punishment is the dumbest punishment ever. He can coach during the week, but he can't coach on the sideline on game day.
Yeah.
For 3
Cool.
weeks.
Great. Who cares? That means nothing. That's not even a fucking punishment. Michigan fans are getting all bent out of shape that he can't be on the sideline. They're acting like he died. Dude, he didn't die. He's sitting in a hotel room eating pizza watching the game.
He was actually working out during the game.
Well, but I mean,
They showed a video of him. He was in the weight room fucking carrying around weights.
right, so like he's doing his own thing. He already coached the team during the week. He already has them prepared. Like
He put in his influence during the game.
Right.
For the game.
Like it means nothing that he's not there on the sideline during the game to me. And some people are just making it such a big deal, and it's like it means fucking nothing. Chill out.
But at the same time, as much as I agree with you, if the team wants to use it as motivation, fucking use it.
Great.
And
they kind of did.
They're clearly doing that.
Right.
And they kind of did,
Bet.
and that's fine. And yeah, bet. Which I'm just going to keep using that from now on. But yeah, that's what they did, and great on them. And they anything as a team. We all played sports. Anything you can use as a motivating factor, it benefits you. Great, use it.
That's why I said use it all day.
Absolutely use it. Use it to the best of your ability, and use the shit out of it. Right, just bleed it dry.
Especially when you need it, not this week, but next week.
Oh, you're gonna need it. We'll see how that injunction goes. We'll see if they can get
regardless of if Harbaugh's on the sideline or not.
Right.
Like, you need every bit of motivation you can get going into that game this year.
And it's like, I just don't understand how the fan base of Michigan, which you and I don't necessarily relate to.
No.
I don't understand how they're just so bent out of shape about this punishment when it's like, I mean, it kind of fits the crime. I mean, it was, what else do you want them to wait? Wait for due process. I mean, it's been proven they cheated at some point in time. He's the head coach of the football program. Who else do you think was going to go down for this? They suspended him for 3 fucking games. Who cares?
And his defense wasn't even that he didn't do it. His defense was everybody else is doing it.
Well, that was a defense, not necessarily by him, but it was by the program.
The program.
The defense of him is even the investigation at this point has showed Harbaugh had no knowledge of it. He thought his sign stealer was just very good at stealing signs. He didn't know how he was doing it. But that doesn't keep you from being punished.
Then who's funneling the money to him?
That's the other thing you got to find out. The investigation isn't done, and that's why they're due process. No, the due process already showed there was cheating that took place, okay? It wasn't enough to give you a lifetime ban or a fucking death penalty. He was going to get suspended for a few games. He's the head coach of the football program.
Yep.
And if you want to be a Michigan guy and look back at what Bo Schembechler said way back in the day, he said, if something happens under your nose and you're the CEO and you don't know about it, maybe you're not good at your job. And if you're not good at your job, you shouldn't have your job. But if something's happening in your program, in your company, and you're the CEO, you damn well better know about it. And if you don't, you're dumb. Well, he either didn't know about it and then was dumb and oblivious to it, or he knew about it. Either way, you're the head coach of the football program, and you're going to get suspended.
It's kind of rich coming from that guy. If you think about
exactly. True. Very true. But again,
we know that 40 years later.
Yeah,
but again, I'm pointing to if you want to be a Michigan guy and you want to be a Michigan back, okay, we back Michigan, but we're not dumb enough to be saying all this stupid shit. But if you want to be the Michigan guy and point to something like that, okay, you're God. Bo Schembechler literally said, if it happens under your watch, you're responsible for it.
It's just funny how, once the other Big Ten programs and national media just started, the more and more they cried about it, the more they screamed about it, and it pressured the Big Ten into doing this. And you said, and I agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, listen,
it was coming.
What was it Petiti, whatever his name is? He's going to lose his job. He's
I
going
think he is
to be one and done. The way he handled this was bad.
It's awful.
And you could tell he wanted to screw Harbaugh and Michigan by waiting until Friday.
Yeah.
A fucking...
the day before a game.
A legal holiday.
Right.
Where you can't file an injunction. before the day before a game,
Yeah.
and it's like, okay, we get what you're doing there. Great, and they used it for motivating factor. That's great, but if you expected Harbaugh to come out of this scot-free,
No.
just because in the investigation so far it shows that he didn't have knowledge of it. To me, what I believe, I'm looking at it, I'm like, they shouldn't have suspended him. They should suspend the fucking assistant coaches. Because if he's up here, yeah, he's the head of the program. I think more than likely the fucking assistants knew.
Somebody had to know.
So like, if it didn't make its way to Jim, they were in the ears of all the. He was in the ears. Stallions was in the ear of all the assistant coaches as they were coaching the games. You saw it. So what? You tell me they didn't know? They'd have been, if they really wanted to punish Michigan, don't suspend Harbaugh for 3 game day games. Suspend the assistant coaches. This punishment is nothing to me. It's literally a nothing burger. It's mid. Who cares? But everybody's fucking up in arms about it. I don't understand it. I don't get it. Am I wrong?
No, I actually agree with you on this. I don't think that it's as much of an issue. Like, you got clowns like Stephen A. He should be banned and blah, blah. Stop it.
That was never going to be the case.
Stop, dude.
And
Like,
it
honestly,
shouldn't
if
have
I had
been.
my way, you'd be banned from television, dude.
Right,
Because
yeah.
You're terrible.
Same.
Like, enough with the hyperbole and all that bullshit. This isn't
Hyperbole?
hyperbole, yes. Hyperbole. good Chief Foster said. I love it. But this isn't what you're trying to make it out to be.
No.
This enough. With this hyperbole, as you said. It's if you really want to go that route, then you have to look into every program, because I guarantee you every program does this.
Yep.
It's not illegal. It's frowned upon, like masturbating on an airplane.
Perfect. I love that. That's
Except
great.
it is legal.
That was great. Now,
I just love that one.
that's a great
so
one.
fucking
That is a
good.
fantastic one. Now, moving on from that, what should be frowned upon is the Buffalo Bills. Now, I'm gonna keep this pretty short and to the point. And like Bill Parcells said, once upon a time, you are what your record says you are, and that's literally what they are. They are a mid team.
Yeah.
They have a Dollar General wannabe Brett Favre as a quarterback, who apparently gets bonus money for throwing footballs to the other team. There's a lot of things wrong with this team. Obviously, him being one of them. That pick, the 2 picks he threw last night. The first one I'm not going to kill him on, because he threw it right into the receiver's hands. Like, catch the ball, dude. He threw it right into his hands.
Well, it hit the receiver's hands. The receiver should have caught it. It hit the receiver in the hands. It was a misthrown ball, though. Cutting over, he had to reach behind him and get it.
How
His
long are they going
hands,
to kill receivers for this?
all right,
For
so,
like stuff like that.
so I'm saying yes, the receiver should have caught it. Hit him in the hands. I'm a big believer in you can't put those on the quarterback. So I'm not necessarily gonna put it on him.
That second
it was
one,
a misthrown football, though.
Fine.
If we're gonna be legit about it, it was a misthrown football. But all game, and I think you said it in the group text, it was almost like every pass he threw, you were expecting it to be picked off. It
I
was
thought
just,
every time he dropped back, he was going to throw a pick.
it.
That second one, what are you looking at?
I don't know.
And then that fumble,
Thanks, Eric. Eric says love the drops.
and that fumble, you just dropped it.
Well, they had four giveaways in that
They
game.
did.
And
And then the debacle at the end of the game. What the fuck are you guys doing?
12 guys on the field.
Holy shit, man! This to me, this is on Sean McDermott.
Yeah, very much so. And he had a sacrificial lamb today.
He did, which
was
he's
Ken
part of
Dorsey.
the problem.
Okay, we've talked about it all year, right?
Yep.
We agree he was a big part of the problem. He didn't stick with the run game. He didn't even try to stick with the run game most of the time.
And the run game was actually doing well last night.
The last score they had, they ran the ball every play.
Right. Like Cook, after they brought him back from benching him, which I thought was absurd that they
Benched him because he fumbled the ball.
I
And then he
just-
fumbled again late and almost lost the fumble.
He
But-
has fumble problems anyways. You know that.
But he ran the ball on that last drive when they scored. He ran the ball, 5 or 6 times for like 60 yards. They kept feeding him.
Yeah.
Why haven't you done that the rest of the year?
And see, this is the problem with Dorsey as your OC. He doesn't understand game flow. He doesn't get it. He's in way over his head when it comes to that. Like, if that's working, like we talked about with Michigan, if it's working, keep fucking doing it. But no, you want to try to be the smartest dude in the room, and this is working, but let's see if this works. No, keep doing what you're doing, and you pay the ultimate price for it. And this is what I don't get is after they pasted the Dolphins, and then you literally had like 2 months where your offenses look like complete shit.
Mm-hmm.
Now, somewhere in this time period, there had to be a disconnect between.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it's between Allen and Dorsey. I don't know if it's between Dorsey and McDermott. I don't know if it's a three-way on this. I have no idea. But it's just kind of weird to me that you had
It's a three-way.
the three-way. Hey, I'm here for the gangbang.
Where's that drop at, Joe?
But
It's that.
there you go. Thank you.
Oh, we're gonna have to take that button away from him.
Maybe. But
Like Kobayashi.
Joe's blown his load on these fucking drops already, man. We're only like 20 minutes into the show, and he's already blown his load. Come on, Joel, be better than that.
Joel is not better than that.
Joel agrees.
He's gonna drool his water out.
Joel agrees. Joel agrees. Oh man.
But it's just funny how you have that one game, and then your offense just falls off a cliff, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the disconnect is, and I'm sure we'll find out at some point what it is. Probably after the season's over when they miss the playoffs, because this team ain't making the playoffs.
No.
There's no chance.
No, I'm with you on that one now. After that game, no. I really don't think that. There's going to have to be a coming to Jesus meeting in that locker room if they're
Absolutely.
going to make the playoffs. I just don't see it.
No.
The defense
not good
isn't
enough.
The defense isn't playing well enough.
The defense played well enough to win last night.
They did, but they still have flaws where
course they
they let up some big plays. But that offense is just broken.
Yep.
And the quarterback is fucking broken. Josh Allen, I don't know what his deal is, but
So I said to him earlier, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with this guy.
Maybe it's the Madden curse. No.
I don't know.
I thought that had died for a couple
I
of
thought
years.
it did
but
too.
Apparently,
Apparently
it
it's
came
alive-
back with a vengeance.
It's alive and well. And I will credit their defense for as much as they were on the field yesterday. I thought they played well because they were on the field a lot yesterday. Just looking at time of possession,
Yeah.
it was they were on the field quite a bit. So for them not to get dump trucked, and I know it's against the Broncos, and actually Russ played well yesterday. I'll give credit to him. He actually played pretty well. But for as much as that defense was on the field yesterday, I thought they held up their end of the bargain, and their offense just completely let them down.
I mean, if I'm looking at this, it's pretty sad that you have a point differential of plus 78, and you're 5-5.
And the Steelers have a negative point differential, and they're 6-3.
Steelers are minus 26.
Yeah.
And they're 6-3. Buffalo Bills are plus 78, and they're 5-5.
That's fucking amazing.
Like-
it really is.
To me, that's the difference between a very good head coach getting what he can out of games and figuring out how to win close games, and a coach that isn't really getting the job done.
He's not, and especially with him taking over the defensive reins this year, it's clear. You can't do both anymore in the NFL. You can't.
No.
It doesn't work. You got to either be the head coach or be a coordinator. You cannot do both.
You can't let that shit happen. You
Yes,
can't.
you are absolutely right. And as much as I wanted to see Leslie Frazier fired, which he, I guess, resigned, whatever he did, I would still rather have him as the DC and not McDermott doing both head coach and DC, because it's clearly not working. And yes, do you have some injuries on defense? You do. But you know what? Pretty much every other team does as well.
Yep.
So I don't want to hear that excuse. This team is broken right now, and I don't see them making the playoffs. And this offseason, this is going to be a huge offseason because they owe a lot of players a lot of money coming up here. So I don't know how they're going to work around that. Whether you need a new GM, which I wouldn't be against, because I think Brandon Beane is gutless when it comes to making moves. I don't think besides the Diggs trade and maybe the Von Miller thing, I don't think he's put this team.
Speaking of Diggs,
Yeah, I saw.
what's going on there, man?
I saw what his brother tweeted or posted or whatever.
I agree with his brother. I don't think his brother's got any business putting it out there, but I agree with him.
I mean,
if
that's gonna be a relationship that comes to a very, very rocky end here pretty soon.
Dude, it's been coming to a head for the last 2 years.
it is, like, how many years does he have left on his deal? Do you know?
Look it up.
I don't know, Stat Girl.
Because if after this season, if they can trade him,
You got my Titans hat?
oh yeah, like if after this season they can trade him for either picks or
What? What am I looking up? I forgot.
We got to laugh. You're like, what the fuck?
Stephon Diggs contract.
Steph Diggs contract. Come on, Stat Girl.
Like I think that's absolutely going to happen this offseason. Is they're going to try to unload him, whether it be through a trade or just flat out outright releasing him. Which I don't know. I don't know how much of a dead cap money that's going to be. But
yeah, it depends on how much he has left. I don't think they'd outright release him. I think they would entertain trade offers though.
yeah. Whether it be for picks.
Well, I mean,
or,
just
He has out in 25, so he's only locked in for next year. Dead cap, if you're looking at it, is 31 million.
Well, that could be an
they
attractive.
could look to move him.
And if you're a team acquiring him, that's an attractive deal because you only got like 1 year left.
1 year.
You could do something with that.
Yep.
So it wouldn't surprise me in the least if they traded him this offseason.
No,
Wouldn't surprise me in the least. And frankly, I think they should.
I don't disagree.
He's just going to become a bigger headache if you keep him.
Yep.
And he's not helping you win.
He's not.
He had 3 catches for 34 yards yesterday.
Like he's not what he used to be, and he acts like he used to.
It's kind of like how we talked about it. How we thought maybe Josh was trying to force him the ball.
Yeah.
And that was one of the issues of why he looked like shit.
Well, he didn't force him the ball yesterday, and he still looked like shit.
Right. That's what I was getting to. Is like
Right.
I don't think that's the issue. I think it might have been a little bit of an issue earlier.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's the bigger issue.
And I don't think Stephon Diggs has really lost that much. I just don't know if it's just not working on that team right now.
Diggs for Adams. Who says no?
If they get Harbaugh, fucking stash him over there. We burn the whole motherfucker down. We'll do it together.
Burn it down, Pookie.
I wouldn't be against that trade. I would take Devontae Adams. Absolutely, I would.
Hell yeah.
I think he's a better receiver. Period.
I don't know. He seems happy with his new head coach.
I hope he gets the job full time. I really do. I don't think he's going to, but I hope he gets the job full time.
From what I've read, he was specifically the person Mark Davis had in mind to take over this team.
Oh.
So if that was all true,
yeah,
then I think he's got a better chance than not to take it over.
Okay.
But, you talk about Michigan having a Michigan man. He's a Raiders guy.
He is a Raiders guy.
And that seems to mean something in that organization right now. So if you're not going to keep him, you need to follow the same line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, they have looked somewhat better with him as head coach. It's not exactly a high bar there. So
they didn't suck completely.
Yes, they did not suck completely. Who else doesn't suck?
Jason Stiltner from Flagstar Bank.
If you're a homeowner or looking to be a first-time home buyer, give Jason Stiltner, Senior Loan Officer at Flagstar Bank, a call today at 248-752-3631.
Yeah.
Jason has great mortgage programs for first-time home buyers, including down payment assistance options and excellent interest rates. Again, give my guy Jason Stiltner from Flagstar Bank a call today at 248-752-3631 and get the excellent service you deserve. Flagstar Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC, NMLS number 27546.
There you go.
So, moving on from the debacle that happened last night, go to one of the more exciting games of the weekend was Lions-Chargers, which, if you're a betting person and you didn't bet the over in this game, you were an idiot.
Yes.
Because that was a lock that game was going to go over. And
pretty much, yes.
And we kind of talked about this in the group chat, and just from the Lions' point of view, the one thing I learned about this game is this defense is not ready to win a Super Bowl. I don't even think they're a Super Bowl contender, to be honest with you, with that defense. That's a bad defense.
I think they're still a Super Bowl contender.
Okay.
I don't think it's a defensive player issue. I still think the problem is with your DC.
Yeah, I know you think it's Aaron Glenn.
Like I spoke to somebody right after the game. After the way that defense played on Sunday, I know it's never going to happen because of the way it ended. I'd have fired him. That defense couldn't stop shit in the secondary, and it was fucking embarrassing to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, they won, so everybody's happy, which I get, but
even with that defensive line, you still couldn't get pressure on Justin Herbert.
It's one thing that I was going to bring up today, and I don't want to overreact or whatever because it's the sophomore slump.
Just overreact.
Hutch isn't what they make him out to be. He's not playing like that right now.
Now, do you think he's hurt? Or do you think
it's
that's
possible?
Or is this a sophomore issue? Because that is a thing. I don't care what anybody says.
Right.
The sophomore slump is a thing.
I think it. I want me to tell you what I think it is.
Yeah,
I think it's
please.
a lack of any other playmakers on the defensive line. They can double and triple him. They can take him out of the game. And it's very easy to do when you have nobody else you need to worry about.
But and I look at him, and we'll use Myles Garrett as the other example. There is a distinct difference between those two human beings.
Well, yeah, Myles Garrett was, born in outer space.
Right, but I'm saying if you're going to speak like Hutch is on that level, he better be on that level.
Even at his best, he's not on that level.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Like, is he a top-tier D end? He can be, but you have to put something with him.
Yeah,
you have to make an effort to make him that. He can only do so much on his own because what he's doing on his own right now isn't working.
No, and be honest with you, the only reason I say that they're still a Super Bowl contender is because nobody really is differentiating themselves out of the pack this year, right? I mean, there's no surefire holy shit team, right? I mean, I think
we all a bunch of shit at the top and a bunch of shit at the bottom.
Yeah, I think we all still agree that the Niners are one of the top few. We all agree that Philly's one of the top few. Baltimore's one of the top few. And we're not just talking NFC, we're talking AFC, like the whole league.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the Lions, they're a good enough team that they can compete. I think their downfall, if it is anything, is going to be that defense. But if you look at the last few years, teams that haven't had very good defenses or not like top defenses have won the Super Bowl. I mean, look at Kansas City's defense last year.
That's true.
They weren't a great defense last year. They're better this year, much better this year. They won last year. I mean, if you look back at the last few years, the defenses haven't been top-ranked defenses. Now, over the course of the NFL in general, yeah, defenses won championships. But in recent years, there's been teams that have basically just been able to outscore you that have won it. That's why I say it doesn't necessarily negate them. Does it hurt their chances? Yeah, I mean, based on that game we just saw, it knocks them down just a little, like a peg or two. But I still think in the league we're looking at this year, it doesn't knock them down far enough to be out of that talk.
Okay.
Because it's a jumbled up mess in the league this year. It really is. It is. It's a clusterfuck.
I agree with you.
Okay. Yeah. Like I do think it takes them out of the conversation.
Yeah.
I think they're like a step below that conversation. Like obviously I'm not saying they're a bad team by any means, but I don't think they're in the echelon with like San Francisco.
No, and I would agree with that. I think they're a level above them. I think we all agree that. Again, Philly. I think Philly's a level above them. A team like Baltimore, who kicked the Lions' ass. I mean, I think they're a level above them. And
that team, man, holy shit! Like it seems like anytime every week we do these shows and we always like hype up a team. Like, is this the team? Is this the team? Is this the team? And then they go out and like shit the bed like that following week. You know, like Baltimore did. Like they had no business losing that game on Sunday. None.
Nope.
I mean, look what happens. We bring up Jacksonville, and if they're for real, every fucking week,
and
every week they show us they're adjacent.
And they got dump trucks.
I blame their head coach.
Is that who you blame?
Yep.
Okay.
Cool.
Because I don't like him.
I know you don't.
I'm just gonna go to that defense.
Blonde hair and the
I just want to go to that defense. I don't like him, so it's Peterson's fault.
But yeah, like
Mr. Peterson.
It's It's good Ferris Bueller reset. Nicely done. But yeah, like looking at obviously we're jumping between games here, but going to that Cleveland-Baltimore game, I'm looking at the score. I'm like, all right, yeah, they got this. And then I keep seeing it in red zone. I'm like, what is going on here? And then you look at how they're trying to close that game out, and it's like, what are you guys doing? Just run the ball.
Baltimore's third loss of the season.
Yeah.
And their third blown
Yeah.
lead. They have only lost games where they've blown a big lead. Period.
That's not ideal.
They've got 3 losses, and all 3 of them are blown leads.
That is not ideal, especially in that division. That's not ideal.
Speaking of that division, I mean, that division is just fucking the worst team in that division right now is 5-4 Cincinnati.
And they'd be out of the playoffs as of today. Out.
Yep.
So it's like, okay. And again, you look at the Steelers, and you're like, how in the fuck is that team 6-3? That's amazing to me that team is 6-3.
Little hint for later on in the picks, they're about to be 7-3.
Oh, all right.
Joe calling his shot.
All right, I like it.
But yeah, that division is just they're just going to beat up on each other.
They are. And now, like going back to that San Francisco-Jacksonville game, I think San Francisco got their mojo back. Was it really just Mostert, or not Mostert, but Debo that they were missing? That's what it was. That's all it was.
Trent Williams.
And Trent Williams, yeah, fair enough.
That's a big one on the offensive
huge
line.
One.
Protecting the quarterback, running the football, opening up lanes. That's a huge one. I mean, he's the veteran. He's the guy on that offensive line. He was out for a few games, and it showed.
Yeah, I mean, Purdy was running for his life at some points.
Yeah, and I talked about it for a few weeks when they went through those losses. They were losing in the trenches. With Trent Williams back, one of those trenches was strong, and it just showed how much one. It really does show how much one player can mean to a team, and it's not necessarily the same player on every team. It's not going to be the left tackle on every team, right? But for him, missing on that offensive line, man, it's fucking night and day. Night and day.
It's drastically different when he's in there.
Yep.
Or drastically different.
But I mean, Debo being out there also is a big thing, right? He takes coverage away from other players. Like Ayuk's a great receiver, but if you take Debo out of the game, you've got Jennings, right? Well, Jennings doesn't take coverage away from Brandon Ayuk. He doesn't take coverage away from George Kittle. But take Debo out there. Debo's a playmaker. Debo's a danger to take it to the distance every time he touches the football. He takes coverage away. He takes eyes away. If a DB or a linebacker shoots their eyes over to Debo for 1 second, that's 1 second they didn't cover their own guy. That's 1 second they didn't get in the position they needed to get into. Like those are the we talked about it. I'm not sure you were here the one day, Frank, but we talked about like every football game comes down to pretty much 5 plays. 5 key plays in a game. If you've got a guy out there that takes your vision off of a guy for 1 play, that touchdown to Kittle, he's wide fucking open. I bet you if you look back at that, the guy who was supposed to be back there covering and playing deep probably jumped a route on Debo or jumped around. He took his eyes off the play for just that long, and Kittle fucking wide open, gone for a touchdown. Like there's a handful of plays every game. And if you can get your players out there to get attention away from the other guys, you end up getting guys open. You end up getting guys wide open. You make big chunk plays.
That's true. That's kind of how I more so with the NFL that's like that. I think college is slightly different, but
college is a different animal.
Right. But NFL, absolutely. There are those, like, I guess, moments in a game that like, you know, tends to help the outcome.
I mean, other than big blowouts, right? I mean, which are in the NFL, they're few and far between. You know, you're looking at these games, 25-23, 26-29, 12-16, 41-38, 30-27, 19-27. You're talking a handful of big time plays
every time
that decide a game, and it's, do those plays go in your favor or not? And a lot goes into determining whether those go in your favor or not.
Yeah. And then you look at the Giants game. I wish there could be relegation in the NFL. I really do.
Sorry, we got a question. Alicia. Hey, Alicia.
Yo.
Hi, Alicia.
She says, little off subject, but Chris, what do you think about the Adam Johnson incident?
Frank and I talked about this a little bit before the show. I haven't seen the video because I frankly don't need to see it. It's been described to me numerous times.
I refuse to watch it.
I have no desire to see it, but
It's not worth watching.
how it was described to me, it depends on who you talk to. I've heard roughly 50-50 differing opinions on this, whether he did it intentionally or he did it unintentionally. Again, not having seen it, I'm probably not the best person to ask about this, but if it's being described to me properly, then kind of seems like he did it intentionally a little bit. Because that's not a natural hockey thing to try to do a super kick, you know? So, I can see why he's being, I guess, investigated or arrested for this. But like me and Frank were talking about before the show, I don't necessarily know how you prove intent on this, so I don't think anything's going to come of it.
You could possibly prove negligence.
Maybe negligence, okay. But
I mean, like, I think that's about the only thing you might be able to
But
prove
there's no
is-
way
is-
you're getting, well...
And that's why they've got him on manslaughter right now.
Right,
They can't
exactly.
get him on murder.
Right.
Right.
Which again, if you prove there was negligence in your actions, then you can prove manslaughter, I guess. But
It's
again,
still
I
gonna
haven't
be-
seen it, and I refuse to watch it. So
It's going to be really difficult to pull off. I have seen it. I did watch it the next day. I wish I wouldn't have. Because it happens in a play, it's going to be hard to prove what the intent was.
right,
If it happened after a whistle, it's a real easy call.
right.
Now, like Chris and I talked about, is it normal for a guy's skate to be up around somebody's throat in the middle of a play? No. Do I think that was the intent behind it? It's one of two things. He's got the worst luck in the world, or you intended on slicing the dude's throat. I'm hoping it's the first.
I am too.
I'm really hoping it's the first.
Because if you did that intentionally, you're a real piece of shit.
Right. But
Yeah, that's
And to be honest with you, even like that incident, but just hockey in general, I'm shocked that doesn't happen more. I really am. With just how fast the game is, and you see scrums around the net all the time.
how fast the game is, how sharp the skates
How sharp
are.
these blades are.
I mean,
I'm
it-
shocked that doesn't happen more.
and your neck guard's not going to do much.
No,
Like, I hate to be the one to rain on this parade because I think it's great that they're making people wear them. It's not going to do a whole lot, though. Those things are just a piece of cloth. There's not much to them.
They are making them better.
They're making Kevlar ones.
They are
now.
making Kevlar ones now, which, from what I've heard, like all the manufacturers, Bauer, CCM, all those guys,
Okay.
they're
But the
going
shit we used to wear.
Oh God!
was,
For what? It was nothing.
it was basically a hoodie rolled up.
Honestly, that's a good way to describe it. That's pretty much what it was. But from what I hear, these companies are going into overdrive to produce these ones
Because everybody's going to get mandated on. I think the NHL is going to get.
I think it's going to get
for 'em.
grandfathered in. I really do. Just like the visors got grandfathered in, just like the helmets got grandfathered in. I think that's going to happen at some point. You can tell with youth hockey, it's not mandatory in the States. It is in Canada. But I think that's
Maha makes it mandatory.
right. But I'm talking just USA Hockey.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
not
no,
mandated
it's
for
not.
USA Hockey. I think it's going to be here shortly, and then obviously through. I could see it going through college and juniors and whatnot. That's going to be a thing, a mandated thing, and then ultimately it will get to the NHL. But don't get me wrong, the players' union will fight the ever loving shit out of this, and frankly they should, because I believe it's your choice. If you want to wear it, wear it. If you don't. Like that's up to you.
I feel the exact same way I feel about visors.
Yeah, if you want to wear it, wear it. If you don't want to wear it, don't wear it. You're a grown man.
Yep.
Make your own choices.
Alicia says, I've personally never heard of this happening, but I'm not that into sports, so wanted your take on it.
There was one years ago in the 80s. Clint Malarchuk.
Malarchuk,
Yeah. He was a goalie for the Buffalo Sabres. And he didn't die, thankfully, because there was a paramedic that literally saved his life.
Yep.
That video's nasty.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, no,
that
that-
one I actually did see. That one was.
I was saying, I've seen that one.
That one
That
was
looked
not
like a
good.
horror video, a horror movie.
And then shit, last year when Evander Kane got his wrist slit with a skate blade. So again, like I said, I'm shocked this doesn't happen more often, and I'm glad it doesn't.
But it is surprising, though.
Right.
But at the same time, how often is a skate around somebody's throat?
That's true.
Like
talking
if they're
about-
down on the ice, I could
Well,
see.
That's what I'm saying.
That
Like in
type
scrums
of
and shit like
yeah,
that.
I
I'm
could see
shocked
that
doesn't
type of
happen
shit.
more often.
Yeah.
But like what happened in this situation, you're never going to hear of it happening because it doesn't happen.
It doesn't. No, not like that. So, again, that's kind of where I'm like, you almost have to look at it like, well, maybe intent was there because you've never seen something like that,
Right.
You know, and like, what are the odds that would happen? You know, so I
Right.
I don't.
That's why I said he's got to have the worst luck in the world if that's the case.
Right. Like, I don't want to, convict a guy when obviously the investigation is.
Frank, you've seen it, right?
Mm-mm.
Your thoughts?
Like I was telling Chris before the show, it looked like a super kick. Should it be going on in the game? No.
Wow.
Do I see situation? I need to see. I don't need to see the end result. I need to see the play.
Like what led up to it?
Yes. If I could see what was going on in the play, I could tell you better what had happened.
Right.
But from the little clip I saw, they were closer to center ice. His skate comes up, and it does. It just.
Wow.
It slices his throat.
Jesus Christ.
So it's not as gory as the goaltender one. It's a very simple video. It's not a big deal, but the end result is what makes it a huge deal.
Right.
But I don't know. Like I told Chris, with me it's hard.
That's what she said.
I'm old school. I'm old school with the game. I believe the game polices itself. I'm not for the cops getting involved in shit. I understand with a manslaughter case, it's going to happen. Like Chris had said, there was a couple other situations. You're talking Brashear, you're talking Chris Simon, you're talking shit like that.
Right.
But I'm big on the game policing itself. So do I think he should get charged? If you can prove it, yeah. If not, let the game handle itself.
No, I'm with you, and that's why I don't ever want fighting taken out of the game.
Yeah.
Because I think
It's the most important part of the
it's
game.
a necessary part of hockey. It just is. And I think, honestly, if you allowed fighting in football, I think you'd see a lot less dirty plays.
You'd also see a lot more broken hands because those guys aren't smart enough to take their helmets off.
That always makes me laugh when they do that. When it's like they're like throwing punches,
punching
dudes
a
with
guy
you got
with
a
a
helmet
helmet
on.
on.
Like, what do you got a face mask? What's wrong with
Most
you?
of their hands are so big they can't get through the
Right.
face gap.
But I think that would
Not happening.
I think that would eliminate a lot of dirty hits and a lot of dirty plays if you actually have to answer for it. Basketball, it's so funny when I see basketball players like quote fight. And if you're watching this, I'm using air quotes because it's like they're backing up, throwing punches. This shit's hilarious.
And their punches are like slaps.
Right. Like,
It's barely a close
it's
fist,
so
and it's like
funny
a
to me.
slap.
That's what made the situation at the Palace all that much better.
They actually were.
They were
was
actually,
They were
fight.
going, man.
they were actually throwing haymakers.
Right.
Like if Jermaine O'Neal didn't slip and he connected with that punch, holy shit, man.
That dude we'd have been talking about that dude being investigated.
Yeah, like he would have. Yeah, he would have landed a haymaker on that one. But I'm with you, Frank. I like the old school nature of the game, and a lot of and this is what you see it on Instagram. Like the hit I sent you on Instagram the other day, right? I thought it was a clean hit. I didn't see anything wrong with it.
Like I said, bad angle.
Like, obviously you see the elbow come out, but to me that's more physics than anything. He didn't lead with his elbow, and I thought it was a clean hit. And then people were saying, "Oh, it's a dirty hit." You know why you think it's a dirty hit? Because you don't see him anymore, and that's why you think it's a dirty hit. Because the NHL especially has told you that this is because people get penalties for it now, and they get suspended for it now, and they get fined for it now. That is a dirty hit. That is not a dirty hit. Dude was looking at the ice like a dum-dum, and he got lit up like a Christmas tree. That's what
Keep
happens.
your head down when crossing the train tracks.
That's like
Hockey 101.
Hockey 101. Keep your fucking head up.
Like that's not to hype my own train here, but that's literally where I lived playing hockey.
Same here. When I was playing defense,
Please put your head down.
I loved it. When I was playing defense and I saw you at the other blue line with your fucking head down, I had you lined up.
going.
I was ready to go. Like there was a certain point in the ice I would look at it and it was like, once you hit that
you're
spot,
dead.
it's over.
Yep.
Like I'm lighting you up. And that was that's why I like as much as I enjoyed playing forward and scoring, but I like playing defense more just for that simple reason. It's because I just wanted to light your ass up.
I love fighting in front of the net too much.
So much fun. Just you see that kid and you have no idea what's coming to you in about 3 seconds.
And sometimes it's not even 3 seconds. Sometimes you got to wait 2, 3, 4 shifts later. You're like, I know this kid's putting his head down every play. Yeah, way to go, Alicia. You got some hockey on the show for us. Appreciate
He's
that.
in international waters, so they couldn't prosecute him, but I saw it.
Okay. So back to the NFL real quick. There's a couple other games I wanted to get into.
Fuck.
That was a random one. Texans Bengals, man. Look at C.J. Stroud, man.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about C.J. Stroud a little bit, man, and D'Amico Ryans. That if those two aren't in the running for their respective awards, you're insane.
This is a joke of a league if they continue on this path and somehow get into the playoffs, which they're in as of right now.
Mm-hmm.
They're 5-4.
Yeah,
and they have a shot.
They do.
They absolutely have a shot. The way that team is playing right now, they have a shot. Their defense is playing well enough. C.J. Stroud is playing like he's been in the league for 10 years.
Yep.
I mean, it's impressive.
I don't think it's much of a question if he's in the running for Offensive Rookie of the Year. I think he's pretty much got it locked at this point.
I'm talking about MVP.
That's what I was just about to ask. Do you think he's got a legit shot at this?
If he gets into the playoffs, yes.
Okay.
For me right now, he's in the top of my list. For me, if it was me voting,
I
absolutely.
thought initially we were talking about Offensive Rookie of the Year. I thought,
for me,
I thought that was a shoo-in.
He's got that locked up.
Yeah.
But
now seeing how these clowns vote, they're not going to vote for a rookie to win MVP.
No.
You're right, and it's sad. But if they make the playoffs and he keeps playing like he is right now,
yeah,
I think it's a fucking robbery if he doesn't win MVP.
I would agree 100% with you because he's killing it right now. He's doing things we have not seen a rookie quarterback do.
Nope.
And that's impressive. And I mean, I don't want to say it kills the shitty Ohio State quarterback narrative because I don't think it does. Because there's plenty of shitty ones. Like one good Ohio State quarterback does not kill that narrative.
Yeah.
However,
1.5.
He's putting a dent in it. Yeah, he's putting a dent in it, and that's fine. It's kind of like USC quarterbacks. Like, haven't really had many great USC quarterbacks.
No.
And we don't talk about that narrative nearly enough.
No, and the jury's still out on Fields, but
that's why I said half.
Yeah, jury's still out on Fields, but
I hate to be his lawyer in this fucking tandem we got going on. But
is he coming back this week?
Says he is.
I hope he marches into Ford Field.
By all accounts, he is coming back
I know
this
he's
week.
not going to, but
yeah, I don't see that happening.
I don't either.
I mean, he's still got a broken thumb. He's just able to play with it,
and he's still got a head coach who needs to remove his head from the donkey's ass he has it in.
He does. He absolutely does. I would agree with that 100%.
You know who doesn't need to remove their heads from any donkey's asses?
No, who's that?
The Joe Wright Group.
Whether you're buying or selling your home, now is the time to take advantage of having the expertise of 4 real estate agents for the price of 1 on your side. Make the right move with the right group, the Joe Wright Group. Give Craig Joe Wright, Mike Bush, Shane Wilson, and Alex DeRocher a call today at 248-535-4750 to fulfill all of your real estate needs.
I don't know what the bell was for.
I don't either. It was just that was just like, go, read it?
The best was you couldn't see me. I'm just sitting here staring straight at you and reached over and went.
That's kind of what I thought. I was like, go, read it. Okay.
I couldn't. I just had to back away because I'm laughing. So I'm like, what the fuck was the bell for?
No, but you said who doesn't have to get their head out of a donkey's ass.
Yeah,
And
not
you
my
said
best.
who?
Not my best segue, but
You said the Joe Wright Group. So I gave the bell like you gave the right answer.
Oh, thank you. I just thought it was fucking fun. But yeah,
And one more game I wanted to get to the Vikings Saints. Vikings are coming on, man.
Josh Dobbs.
If
Like we make the joke about MCDC having huge nuts.
Dude,
Josh Dobbs.
the dude is balling out.
Huge fucking nuts right now.
And he's doing it without the best receiver in the league.
who is supposedly coming back
That's
this
what I
week.
heard, yes.
That's the hope.
I'm not gonna lie. If I'm a Lions fan, not the Lions themselves because they don't worry about that. Like they take care of business.
No.
If I'm a Lions fan, I'm slightly worried about the Minnesota Vikings because 2 of the last 3 games for the Lions are against Minnesota, including the last game of the year.
And you know what? You go back to the Baltimore game and you see how much trouble they have with a mobile quarterback, especially one that can also turn around and sit in the pocket.
So, I mean, if I'm a Lions fan, I not necessarily sweating yet, but Listen, they're one game behind you. Just one game behind you. And 2 of the last 3 games of the season are against that team. Listen, I'm on board, and I'm already thinking about popping the popcorn and getting the drinks ready for that last game of the year, Lions Vikings.
It very well should.
I am all in on just I want to watch that game, and I'm in for whatever happens. If the Lions win and they go like they make it happen, great, good for them, happy for fans. But I'm telling you, I'll be throwing my popcorn in the air. That Minnesota Vikings team fucking takes them out on last week. Gotta celebrate. I get the champagne out.
Honestly, I don't think that game's gonna matter. I really don't.
I'm not saying it's going to. I think the vision of it possibly making mattering gets me excited. It does. It gets me pumped.
Lions fans' buttholes puckering up a little bit. Yeah. Okay. I see it. I just don't think it's going to. I don't think
it very well might not. I mean, I'm not saying the Minnesota Vikings aren't even on necessarily that level. I mean, recently they've been playing on that level, which is odd. Well, they won their last 5 games in a row.
Yeah.
So just that in general, they're playing better. I don't know. I think you put it great. If I'm a Lions fan, maybe my butthole is puckered a little bit.
And one more thought about this past week. Can we how do you guys feel about these international games? Like, do you like them?
Do away with them?
I'm with you on that one. Like, it's just every one of them I've seen pretty much. It's terrible football. Terrible. Like this game, this last one they just had, the Colts and Patriots.
10-6.
That was an awful football game.
I didn't watch it.
I was going to say I haven't watched any of them. The only one I watched, or I did watch the one. I watched the Toy Story game. I didn't even watch the regular broadcast. I watched the Toy Story broadcast.
I watched part of that, and I watched part of the Kansas City-Miami one.
And that was a bad football game.
That was not a good football game.
Which, when you look at what those two teams have done, should have been a great game.
I was looking forward to that. I'm like, all right, cool. Chiefs, Dolphins? Yeah, let's do it.
Finally a good game overseas.
And it was awful.
It turned out to be dog shit.
It's like next week. Monday Night Football next week. Oh, I am so looking forward to that shit. It's a Kelsey Bowl rematch.
Well, shit. Even Thursday, they finally got a good matchup this week.
Yeah,
Thursday,
Baltimore,
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
Baltimore and Cincy.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Sunday night, Vikings Broncos. Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch Josh Dobbs fucking shit on Denver.
I don't know, man. Russ is coming up. He's cooking.
Listen,
let Russ cook.
That defense. The biggest thing with that Denver Broncos team is their defense.
They played well last night.
The first few games, they were on a fucking record pace of letting up points, especially obviously that one against Miami. But I mean, the points per game they were giving up was atrocious.
Yes.
Now that defense has really stepped up.
They've stabilized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Russ
He's cooking.
Is actually making plays. That pass he had in the end zone,
dude, that was a hell of a catch.
But it was a hell of a catch.
He more or less just tossed that thing.
When it happened in real time, I went, that's a touchdown.
Oh, same here.
And then they replayed it, and I was like, I fucking told you it was a touchdown.
No, I did say when I saw him catch it, I'm like, that's a catch.
Yeah,
like, you got to be fucking kidding me.
And
that's a catch.
I mean, that was one that was, you could say he just tossed it, but that whole play was impressive. That toss to me, that could not be put in a better spot for only him to catch it.
Right.
And Cortland Sutton to come down with that football, toe drag, swag, and all. I was like, God damn, that's a hell of a play.
It really
That's
was.
probably one of the best plays I've seen this season as far as overall play. Russ got pressured out of the pocket. He went to run up, juked the guy out, spun backwards around, and then just flicked it into the end zone and put it in a spot where you could not put it any better. Any better. And Sutton comes up with that catch. I was like, God damn, that's dirty.
I have to check it out.
No, it was solid. It was a catch. It was a great play. It's just a great play all around.
It was overall just a dirty play. Like, Buffalo could not have played that any better. They got pressure on Russ.
Yep.
Almost got the sack. Russ spun out backwards, turned around, and just flicked it in the end zone. And I'm telling you, it was not placed better. He couldn't have placed it better if he walked up and handed it to him.
Put it this way, if that was Mahomes, there would have been jizz all over the fucking booth. 100%.
I saw a couple people say something about that.
There would have been, like, the announcers, Aikman and Buck would have just, like, creamed their pants.
And And then
sound effects and all.
And then the catch was fucking awesome too. I mean, the whole play, I was like, holy Christ, that is a dirty play.
It's like that South Park meme where the guy's sitting there with exactly, yes.
Yep.
If that was Mahomes, that was 100%.
Yep. Yeah, that was one of the more impressive plays I've seen all season. Truthfully,
I would agree with that.
And I know none of us are really on the Russ bandwagon anymore, but
no,
I've
sunshine
been
on a dog's ass every once in a while.
I've been impressed with him lately too, though. He hasn't been. I think he's got 18 touchdowns right now. He had 16 all season last year.
Yep.
I'm not saying Russ is back, but it looks like he's maybe rejuvenated is the word, or I don't know, but he doesn't look like dog shit anymore. I'll tell you that.
He doesn't.
He looks like a competent NFL quarterback again. Finally,
To steal Chris's word,
he's mid.
he is too fucking corny. I don't care how good he plays. I will never have an ounce of respect for him. At this point, it's the perfect word. He is corny as a motherfucker, dude.
Yep.
Chris agrees.
Chris agrees.
That's why I had to give you credit, because the way you have said it for 2 years now has been absolutely
Such a
perfect.
cornball. Anything else? Any other games you want to hit into, or anything else you want to get into?
I got one question
Yes.
to go back to the Lions game.
Yeah.
Yep.
More of a statement to begin it, question before or after. There is a fine line, in my opinion, between having balls and being stupid.
Okay.
Which one of those things did Dan Campbell do this weekend?
He
Did
had
he have balls,
I think
or was he stupid?
He had balls.
You think
In
so?
my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say that too.
Because there was a couple of times where I was like, all right, you got some balls. And there was the field goal early in the game. I've been adamant about it. Good teams don't leave points on the field.
Right.
I thought that was a stupid move to go for it. Take the easy points. The other one was the 4th and 5 when he ran it right up the fucking middle. I thought that was just a dumbass move. It worked, so I couldn't say anything about it. But
one of these times it's not going to work.
Right.
In a big game, and it's going to fuck him.
And that's why I was like, you've got some stones. Some of the plays he called, he's got balls. I'm not arguing that.
But at a
But
certain
he's flirting with stupidity on some of these calls.
well, but at a certain point, you don't want a guy who has the balls to call plays like that to go against what is his nature, right? I mean,
He did that earlier this year.
you want him to be that guy all the time, right? But be smart about it. Be that guy in the right circumstances. And I think,
He did that against the Seahawks.
yeah. So I have another question for you. Now, this is just an overall question, not about the Lions or this game or anything, because I heard it brought up this week. So you had the situation with Dan Campbell. You had the situation with James Franklin, like going for 2, not going for 2, whatever. So if you say you begin the fourth quarter and you know you're going to need a 2-point conversion at some point,
Yeah.
do you choose to go for the 2-point conversion early in the quarter if you score,
Yeah.
knowing that if you don't make it, it's gonna be a 2-possession game, but you can make up for that because you have time. You can plan for that.
Right.
Or do you save it and you just take the extra points until at the end of the game when you need to make that 2-point conversion, and then it's either do or die at that point. Like 2-point conversion, you either make it or you don't, and you have no time to recover from not getting the 2-point conversion. Like, which one would you rather do? I see the argument on both sides.
I do too, but I'd probably go for the early one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
I'm a conservative person
I would
when
go
it
for
comes
that
to
one.
play calling. I'd go early.
We are on the
Especially if it gives you multiple chances to do it.
see,
Yeah.
and for me, that's it. I want to know. Listen, if I'm going to need 2 possessions,
Yep.
I want to know earlier in the quarter that I need to plan on. Okay, now I need 2 possessions. I don't want to wait until the end of the game and go for the 2-point conversion and go, all right, well, this is one play, do or die, guys.
Right.
If you've got your sure thing play and you know it's going to work no matter what,
Okay, yeah.
then I can see
If
waiting
you've got the
till
Philly
end.
special, you're
Yeah.
about to pull out or whatever. Yeah.
Statue of Liberty play from Boise. Like, if you've got something like that that's going to definitely work and you want to wait till the end, I wouldn't say shit about
The
it.
annexation of Puerto Rico.
Little Giants there.
I know.
It was in international waters.
Oh my God.
What would you do? Go to Fox News and just fucking grab a bunch of things off of there?
God.
Like that,
That-
sounds like a news broadcast.
That's from Step Brothers.
Is it?
Yeah,
I've never seen Step Brothers.
It's when he talks about eating a guy's dick.
Like Kobayashi.
Never seen the movie.
And the guy and he goes, "What you've seen him do it?" And he
It
goes,
was in international waters, so they couldn't prosecute him, but I saw it.
Okay.
But yeah, so we actually are on the minority of that
Is that
argument.
right? Really?
Yep. Because I said the same thing. I said I would rather take the shot early and be able to plan. If I don't make the 2-point conversion, now I need 2 possessions.
Yeah.
I have to have 2 possessions. I'm 2 possessions down. Now I can plan for that. My whole game plan changes for the rest of the quarter, but I know it early, as opposed to waiting till late and then you can't recover from the 2-point conversion you don't make because like the time's out. You're done. That's it. You're fucked. But that argument back and forth, the majority is on the nope. You take the points. You take whatever points you get. You hit the extra points, and then at the end of the game, if you need 2-point conversion, you try it then. That's where the majority of the people fall in. I don't know why, because to me, our argument makes better sense. But
I don't know.
Now, how many of those people are watching football just for the drama, though?
yeah,
That adds to the drama if you do it right at the end.
well, for sure. Yeah,
It makes the game more exciting. And if you're looking at it from a fan's point of view, if I don't care about winning, I'd much rather watch that 2-point conversion right at the end.
yeah,
But if I'm calling the game, if I'm coaching, I'm going for it early.
yeah,
That makes sense to me.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, what's next? Any other games we want to go over, or we're gonna get in? We're gonna get into listening to you do the picks and me making Drop City, bitch.
I mean, is any game you want to preview this coming week? We can do that.
We can.
Well, I mean, shit. Let's start off with the Thursday nighter. I mean, it's actually a good Thursday night game that Al Michaels might not fall asleep through.
I have trouble,
Which I can't blame him.
I have trouble believing Al Michaels can actually call a good game anymore because I think he's just resigned to the fact that
Like,
he's there for the paycheck and really doesn't give a shit.
I mean, when you get these shit matchups, do you blame him?
I don't, but I have a hard time believing it's just the shit matchups at this point.
No,
I think he just doesn't care.
I think it'll be good with Bengals Ravens because it should be a good game. But as we've seen Thursday nights and these international games, and honestly a decent amount of just the Monday nighters and the Sunday nighters,
The games in international waters.
the games in international waters have not been great. However, this one hopefully will be a good one. I'm very much looking forward to it. See if the Ravens can bounce back. Both teams can bounce back. The Ravens both of them had bad losses. I think the Ravens loss was a little bit worse.
Ravens loss to me was worse.
Yeah,
They
it's more like the Ravens lost the game more than the Browns won it.
Yeah, and to say a little bit about that game too, I just man, Cleveland Browns fans, oh my god. The Deshaun Watson fucking backers just came out in full
Of course they
force.
did because he actually looked somewhat decent.
Okay, but he threw a pick 6 in the game too. Okay, the
Yeah.
second half of the game he went 14 for 14 for like 136 yards, a touchdown. Like he looked good in the second half. Don't get me wrong.
He did.
It was perfect passing in the second half. But like you can't just play one half of football and go, "See, where's the haters at now?" Okay, they won that game because of defense too, bro. And all the games they've won this year have been mostly because of defense because Deshaun Watson hasn't done fuck all. So where are the Deshaun Watson haters right now? Still fucking here because the guy still fucking blows for half the game. So wherever you think we're at, we're not hiding. They won the game. Happy they won the game. I don't root for them to lose. I don't root for him to suck. He just does. Like, I don't root for somebody to be who they are. They just are that. He fucking sucks. He got lucky in the second half. Hopefully he can parlay that into playing better in the second half of the season and Cleveland can do something, but where are the Deshaun Watson haters at? Right fucking here, bitch. Fuck you.
I always love that. Like, if you don't like something, you're automatically labeled a hater.
Yeah.
It's like,
Fuck you, blow me.
exactly. Yes.
I also really enjoy the people that don't know how to take criticism. It's not saying shit about the team. It's not saying the team's garbage. It's not saying anything like that. It's saying one specific player isn't playing up to his abilities.
You're a hater.
Yeah.
Like, that's not hate. That's criticism, which is okay.
Well, if you can't back the quarterback, you don't back the team. Get the fuck out of here. What are you doing rooting for the team? Still like the team.
Yeah.
really wish our quarterback didn't suck. Like, I'm not hoping for him to suck.
Right.
I don't want him to suck. He just sucks. He played a great second half. He was a big part of them winning that game. But come on, let's reel that in a notch, guys. He's not the second coming of Joe Montana at this point, okay? He had a good second half of a football game. Let's see if he can parlay that into something else for the rest of the year.
Like, I get this with Arsenal fans all the time. There's the player that they bought in the summer, and he's been shit this entire season, like shit. And I in one of my groups, I was like, Havertz, he's not it. He's not the guy. He's not very good. And I got some feedback. It's like, oh, you're just a hater, blah blah blah. You don't know shit. I'm like, then you're an ignorant fuck.
Right.
Like, that's what you are. It's because I'm calling him out because I don't know if you've ever watched this game because he has not been good. I'm simply saying he has not been good. Doesn't mean I hate the team or anything like that. It's because he has not been good, and I guarantee you the majority of the people in this group will agree with me that he has not been good, and he hasn't been. But no, you're a hater. Well, just ignorant shit like that.
The people that are like the guy had one good half of football, right? Yeah. And they're like, oh, you've been hating on the guy. Look at now, he had a good half of football.
Cool,
great. That's like if the Lions win the Super Bowl in the next couple of years, you come to me and go, all those years you're wrong about the Lions. No, I was actually right about them all those years.
Right.
This one year is the year I was wrong.
Right.
Like, I was right all those other times. So you can't have one great half of football and go, see, you're wrong. He doesn't suck. Well, I mean, he did. That one half he didn't. But other than that, no, he has.
Yeah, if you look at the game as a whole, he still sucked.
Yeah. I mean, he's at the bottom of the league in quarterback rating right now still, even with basically a perfect second half of that football game.
Like,
play better, and I will be happier.
Like we talked about it earlier with that game, it took a Baltimore collapse for them to win that game.
Yeah.
If Baltimore doesn't collapse, he still sucks. Mm-hmm. Like, it doesn't matter what he did in the second half. And because you were so bad in the first half, that would have been the reason why you lost. Like, there you go.
But I don't know anything.
But you don't know anything. You're a hater. Exactly. So
just had to get that one out there.
But yes, looking forward to that game.
Imagine what I'm being called right now, bitching about Aaron Glenn with the 7-2 team.
Hater.
Well, you're not a hater. You said they're going to Super Bowl
this week. Yes, Super Bowl.
Yes, you did. I saw the. Yes, I saw the
post.
Super Bowl.
I like how you actually. I think I
explained it to somebody, and nobody still said shit. I still had people liking it.
I was gonna say I think I saw you actually explain it to one of the people who was on your post, and I was like, You're kind of breaking the fourth wall here, buddy.
Did you get a bonus for the parade planning committee?
No, not yet.
I was just curious.
No, we got to have the parade.
Oh, I didn't know if you got a bonus or something.
No, okay. we're worried about Thanksgiving right now.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, okay.
Making sure Santa gets into town. We're worried about Thanksgiving. We'll plan the next parade when we get to the next parade.
Another game I'm going to get to, just because it's a rivalry game, Steelers-Browns. I think it's going to be I think this is going to be a slugfest. I really do.
We'll get to the picks, but I told you earlier.
Yeah.
I truly believe the Steelers are going to win this game.
Okay.
I think this actually.
I would take the under in it.
I would too. This is actually my upset of the week.
Oh, all right. All right. I like it.
Okay.
And then looking at the rest of the schedule besides Eagles-Chiefs, the Kelsey Bowl, there's nothing really that jumps out at me as like good game. Like, Red Zone's going to suck this week, man. Like, seriously.
I'm just hoping some of these games produce some good witching hour moments.
I hope so, because these are some bad matchups, like fucking Cowboys-Panthers. Really?
Cowboys-Panthers, Lions-Bears. Because on paper, that matchup isn't good.
Raiders-Dolphins.
Dolphins-Raiders.
Giants-Commanders. Yeesh. Like, Seahawks-Rams might be all right, because that game is always weird. Something weird always happens in that game.
The Texans and the Cardinals. The Texans should be 6-4 after this week.
Yes,
should be,
and well on their way to making a playoffs.
Cardinals didn't look terrible though. I'm not going to say they're going to win that game, but with Kyler in there, I was surprised.
They looked better with Kyler. They look better with Kyler,
especially with Call of Duty coming out last week.
That's sad. I think it was still downloading. That's why he was good.
It takes a while to download.
He didn't get a chance to play it.
It does, but he's got rich people internet, so that shit moves fast.
It moves faster than ours. It's true.
Fair enough.
Anyways. Yeah, there's a lot of big lines this week, man.
Yeah,
like Jags Titans 6.5, Commanders Giants, Redskins Giants 9.5. Niners Bucks 11.5.
That's why that's why I only did 7 NFL games this week instead of 8, which I normally do, because it was like a lot of.
You
games
only did 7 college games too.
Yeah, because again, it wasn't a very good slate either. So
Miami Raiders, Dolphins Raiders 12, Lions Bears 9.5.
We have it at 11.5 on our thing. So.
Okay. Cowboys Panthers 10.5. A lot of big lines, man.
Yep. So that being said, you want to hit up the picks?
Yeah, let's do the picks.
Do it.
This segment is brought to you by the Joe Wright Group.
It's time!
Who won? Who did what?
All right, so this last week, winner, chicken dinner, I won again. 2 weeks in a row, I'm making a comeback because I sucked the rest of the year. I went 11-5. Chris, you were 9-7.
Eric, week.
Eric, you were 8-8. Mid. Frank, you were 7-9.
I was below mid.
Just below mid. For the year, Chris, you are still leading the pack at 87-70-5.
Yeah, baby.
Eric is 84-73-5. Frank, you are 59-53-2. I am now above 500. Thank God. And I am 81-76-5. So I'm slowly creeping back into the category.
You're a loser.
I was very much. I was very much a loser. That what was that 4-12 week really fucked me.
Oh, it did. Yeah, that was a bad week for you.
That 4-12 week fucked me.
There was a few weeks I was really grateful you weren't betting your picks.
No, it's quite a few weeks. I was very grateful I wasn't betting my picks.
Well, with that being said,
I know better than that.
Let's start off with what we got here. Starting with college football, we got Louisville laying 1, taking on Miami. I took Miami. Joe, you took Louisville. Eric took Louisville. And Frank, you took Louisville. I'll go on the island on that one.
I work with retards.
That could not be more fucking accurate. Next up, we got Utah laying 1.5, taking on Arizona. I took Utah. You took Utah. Eric took Utah. And Frank took Utah.
Don't worry, nobody's listening anyway.
This is real fucking exciting. 8 picks. One person was different.
Right. Next up we got Georgia laying 10.5, taking on Tennessee. I took Tennessee. Joe took Georgia. Eric took Georgia, and Frank took Georgia. Okay, I'm on the island of 2 of these motherfuckers already. Next up we got Washington.
Why don't you go back to your home on Whore Island?
Washington taking on Oregon State. Oregon State's laying 1.5. I took Washington. Joe switched his pick and took Oregon State. Eric took Oregon State, and Frank took Washington.
The price is wrong, bitch.
Next up, we got North Carolina taking on Clemson. Clemson laying 6.5. I took Clemson. Joe took Carolina. Eric took Clemson, and Frank took Clemson. So Joe is on the island on that one.
Pardon my French, but you're an asshole.
Next up, we got in-state rivalry. We got Kansas State taking on Kansas. Kansas State's laying 9.5. Just for Allison, I took Kansas. Rock Chalk Jayhawk. Joe, you took Kansas as well. Eric took Kansas, and Frank took Kansas State.
Take a big step back and literally fuck your own face!
Nice. In the last game of the college slate, we got Michigan laying 19.5, taking on Maryland. I think this is a trap game big time, so I'm taking Maryland in this. Joe, you're taking Michigan. Eric, of course, is taking Michigan. And Frank, you are taking Michigan as well.
It's the Catalina fucking wine mixer.
Nice. Moving on to the NFL, we got Cincinnati taking on Baltimore. Baltimore is laying 3.5. I took Cincinnati. Joe took Cincinnati. Eric took Cincinnati. And Frank took Baltimore.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
Frank, this one's just for you, buddy. We got the Raiders taking on the Dolphins. The Dolphins laying 11.5. Sorry. I took the Dolphins. Joe, you took the Dolphins. Eric took Las Vegas, and Frank took the Dolphins.
You got a little wiener and some tiny nuts.
Eric, why would you take Vegas?
Because he's got a little wiener and some tiny nuts.
The guy's not even here to defend himself.
Never go for a retard. You was farting in bathtubs and laughing your ass off.
I'd love to defend you, buddy, but you deserve all of these for picking Vegas.
Joel agrees.
Joel agrees?
Joel agrees.
Next up, we got Pittsburgh taking on Cleveland. Cleveland's laying 4. I took Cleveland. Joel took Pittsburgh. Eric took Cleveland, and Frank took Pittsburgh.
Stop it, Chris. You're making it hard.
Next up, we got... I love that one.
Motherfucker. I'm ready to go.
Love it. Next up, we got Seattle laying 1, taking on the Rams. I took Seattle. Joel took Seattle. Eric took Seattle, and Frank took the Rams.
Well, this is awkward.
Probably the biggest game of the week. We got the Eagles taking on the Chiefs. The Chiefs are laying 3. I took Philadelphia. Joel took Kansas City. Eric took Philadelphia, and Frank took Philadelphia. So Joel's on the island.
You can't let that shit happen. You can't.
Next up, we got Minnesota taking on Denver. Denver's laying 1.5. I took Minnesota. Joel took Minnesota. Eric took Denver, and Frank took Minnesota.
Thanks a lot, Bin Laden.
That's going to get us banned in
love
like
that.
90 more countries.
So good. And last on the slate, obviously the biggest game of the week because it always is, except when they're on a bye week.
Fuck you, blow me.
We got the Bears taking on the Lions. The Lions are laying 10. I took the Lions. Joel took the Lions. Eric took the Lions, and Frank took the Lions by 1 million.
The meatloaf!
And those are the picks.
Take a big step back and literally
Fuck your own face!
So good.
That's why Joe likes this new format.
I love it.
He just gets to sit here and press all the buttons.
I love it. I don't have to worry. I make my picks before we come in. I don't have to worry about looking at anything, like doing research or anything. I'm fucking good to go.
And I know every week we're going to get more drops now.
Absolutely.
Just because he has the ability to sit there and just play them.
No, I'm in favor of it. They make me laugh.
Absolutely.
I think they're great.
Like Kobayashi.
You gotta get a hot route from Wedding Crashers. Hot route.
Motorboat and
I don't know what that means. There's something about your face.
There's something about your face.
Oh.
Best Bradley Cooper movie of all time.
In the face.
In the face.
It's not illegal. It's frowned upon, like masturbating on an airplane.
All right.
I think that's what Eric might have been doing when he picked the fucking Raiders. I don't know.
It's not frowned upon. It's not illegal. It's frowned upon.
Oh, it says, Allison says, ever drink more and then she'll do better drops next time we ever record something.
Remind me not to drink when I do these next time, or have you drink more and you'll do even better.
Hello, lady.
Yeah.
Fuck you both. Sports on tap.
I think we might be able to do an hour just of those.
Sports on tap.
Like, seriously.
No, I sound drunk. Shut up. I hate you.
It's exactly what she's saying right now, too.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Motherfucker.
Oh, man.
All right. Anything else, fellas?
No.
All right. I'm going to be smart and mute you two. Give us a like, a share, to follow our social media like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube.
Yeah!
You can find all our podcasts on your favorite podcast provider. As always, check out SOTDET.com.
This guy here is dead.
Cross him off then.
Check out SOTDET.com. You click on shop, buy some stuff. You can see the fantasy stats and projections, and you can see our picks for the week, and you can see Frank's blogs that he did. Again, that's SOTDET.com. On behalf of Chris and Frank, who you can't hear right now on purpose, I am Joe. We are Sports on Tap Detroit. See you next Tuesday.
And that is it for us today.
No! God, please, no! No! Bye, have a great time. No! God! Bye, guys.
No, 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 no!
Bye, buddy.
No!
Goodbye.
No!
Goodbye.
No!
It's never goodbye.
Hey,
You know, we've been through our ups and been through our downs.
And you were meant to be here tonight.
You guys will always be in my heart.
Great moments are born from great opportunity.
I think the most important part is that we all stay together throughout.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Live. Fight like hell. The best thing I have ever done, the best thing I will ever do, is be a dad.
God, I love you guys. Mamba out.